But it's time to get started with the honorable mentions. First honorable mention I have is a guy who used to play for Ohio State University, did not look good while he was in Ohio State, transferred to Syracuse, and now looks like he's where he needs to be. The transfer portal has been something that's been used very often, and the way it goes now for college football, college basketball, college sports, period. I've seen the transfer portal in baseball, seen it in volleyball. It's everywhere in college now. Everybody uses it. But this guy right here has pretty much got some eyes looking at him now. Now that he's now in Syracuse, and that's Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord is a guy who's had some very successful games as of late. His last game against Georgia Tech, which was considered an upset, seeing as though Georgia Tech is now ranked 23rd in the country. He led this team to a 31-28 win, putting up 300 completed 32 of 46 passes, 381 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a QBR of 82. Wonderful numbers. And he had some help with the running game with LaQuint Allen, who had 15 carries for 83 yards. But let's be honest, Kyle McCord led this team to that win because they had no rushing touchdowns. He had 2 receivers that he threw two touchdowns to each. That's Rondé Gadsden II and Treble Pena. They both had 32-yard catches and both had 2 touchdowns. So that was a really good game from Kyle McCord. And then he had another game before against Ohio, which was a game that I'm pretty sure everyone expected him to win. Completing 27 to 39 of his passes, 354 yards, 4 touchdowns, an interception, and an 84.2 QBR. Another really good game by Kyle McCord. So that's the first of the, is what I consider the honorable mentions. Another honorable mention I have is Northern Illinois University with a big upset against Notre Dame this past Saturday, beating them 16-14 in South Bend. They weren't very efficient on 3rd down, but they did go for it twice on 4th down, completing one of those. They had more total yards than they did, more passing yards, more rushing yards. They had the same amount of penalties. They made Notre Dame commit 2 turnovers in that game. Two turnovers. My goodness. Northern Illinois put up a really good upset on the road, controlled the time, had about 35 minutes, controlled the time of possession, had about 35 minutes of play time on the field, averaging about 10 yards per pass. This was a really good game by Northern Illinois, and I think they deserve some praise for having a really good game against a team that was ranked top 5 in the country, and they went on the road and beat Notre Dame. Great job by Northern Illinois. Then another honorable mention that I have is a young guy in Tennessee. Now, if I botch his last name, I apologize, but this is just what I have at the moment. Nico Iamaleava. Iamaleava. For quarterback for Tennessee. Last game is against NC State when they won 51-10. Completed 16 to 23 of his passes, 211 yards, 9.2 yards pass, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 76 QBR. And then the game before against UTC, he threw for 314 yards, 3 touchdowns, and had a QBR of 81.6, completing 22 of 28 of his passes. So really, 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 really good game for Nico and Tennessee. Looks like to be a promising team. They're right now ranked 14th in the country. I believe that ranking is going to change a little bit as well, with some teams in the top 5 and the top 10 losing. Florida State lost again, and Notre Dame losing that game. So who knows what's going to happen with this ranking when it comes to this team. But Tennessee definitely looks like a promising team in the SEC right now. They have for the last few years, but it looks like this year's going to be another good year for them. Now,
thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.